First at noon, it's a first alert weather day as a red flag warning remains up for leeward parts of the state until 6 tonight. There is the threat of elevated fire danger with strong winds, low humidity, and dry conditions. And that prompted Governor Josh Green to sign an emergency proclamation last night. Guy Hagi has the details in your first alert forecast.
Aloha on this Thursday. It's a first alert weather day today because of the lack of rainfall and those strong and gusty winds, which brings an elevated height for brush fires across all leeward areas. Now, you see this morning, we do have a few showers heading for Kauai and Oahu's windward side, but it's not going to be enough to help us get out of this situation until the winds back down later tonight. So it is going to be a windy day today with a fair bit of sunshine for leeward sides. And again, it's going to be fairly dry for all leeward areas through the afternoon.
We're learning new details about the Hana Kobayashi case. A day after her family announced the Maui woman has been found safe, her sister Sydney posted a long statement on social media, saying in part that she and Hana's mother have not physically seen Hana, but they have spoken to her over the phone and that Hana does not wish to return to them. Sydney says throughout the experience, they have not once lied and did their best to manage all the information they received. Regarding the GoFundMe page, Sydney says they have kept all the receipts to show where the funds have been used, and on the page it says any donor who would like a refund can submit a claim by December 18th and it will be honored. Major developments in the investigation of the murder of the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The suspect's mother filed a missing person report days before the shooting, and police now say there is hard evidence connecting Luigi Mangione to the murder. Lilia Luciano reports.
Shell casings found at the scene where United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was killed matched the 3D printed ghost gun 26-year-old Luigi Mangione had in his possession when he was arrested, according to the NYPD Wednesday. Police also said the suspect's fingerprints match the ones found on a water bottle and a wrapper found outside a Starbucks, where surveillance video appears to show he was before the killing. The NYPD said his print also matches one found on a cell phone that was recovered in an alley near the hotel. And at the time of his arrest, the NYPD says the suspect had a notebook where he wrote about his disdain for the healthcare industry. Law enforcement sources tell CBS News he wrote about using a bomb, but wrote that a shooting would be more targeted and would not risk innocent lives.
Are you seeing the statements about choosing a gun over a bomb that were allegedly made in this notebook as an admission?
I don't know that they have a confession, but I think they have enough facts, enough of a pattern of facts at this point to say, this shows he was going to do it. This shows how he was going to do it. These pictures show you that he did do it.
Sources tell CBS News Mangione's mother filed a missing persons report in San Francisco just days before the shooting. Friends say they hadn't heard from the suspect for several months.
I remember looking at his face like, that guy looks so familiar.
Dorian Wright says he taught the suspect several times at Power Yoga, Hawaii.
He mentioned to me when I was helping him with the pose, he said, I have a back injury. And I'm like, where's your back injury? And he said, lower back. The goal was he came to our studio to heal himself, and I don't have any bad memories of him.
Mangione's attorney says he plans to plead not guilty to all charges. And yesterday, the CEO of United Health, the parent company of United Healthcare, put out a letter to the staff of the company honoring Brian Thompson, the victim, and also stating at one point that the company vows to make healthcare better for everyone. Lilia Luciano, CBS News, Huntington, Pennsylvania.
Just weeks before the end of his administration, President Joe Biden announced today that he's commuting the sentences of some 1,500 individuals and pardoning 39 people convicted of nonviolent crimes. The White House says the move is the biggest single-day act of clemency in modern history. The president, who has come under growing pressure to grant more clemencies before he leaves office and who controversially granted a pardon to his son Hunter earlier this month, also promised that additional action will be announced in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, President-elect Donald Trump was back in his hometown of New York Thursday to visit Wall Street. Meanwhile, some say he's putting pressure on Republican senators to toe the line and get behind his cabinet picks. Tarian Small has more details from Capitol Hill.
President-elect Donald Trump rang the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange, celebrating his selection as Time's Person of the Year.
Time magazine getting this honor for the second time. I think I like it better this time, actually. Because
Trump's already making plans for his inauguration, including taking the unusual step of inviting Chinese President Xi Jinping to attend the ceremony.
I was even thinking about inviting certain people to the inauguration, and some people said, wow, that's a little risky, isn't it? And I said, maybe it is. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But we like to take little chances.
Some of his cabinet choices joined him on Wall Street on Thursday, while others were here on Capitol Hill working to drum up support for their confirmation.
Do you believe that gay people should be allowed to serve in the military?
Yes. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is meeting more Republican senators, trying to win support from those concerned about misconduct allegations, which he has denied. Some lawmakers see Trump exerting pressure on GOP senators to greenlight all cabinet picks, regardless of controversy.
With the Hegseth nomination, Gabbard, some of the others, I think the pressure has been irresistible. Raw political pressure is turning the tide with some of them, turning their minds.
Hegseth also met with Democratic Senator John Fetterman Thursday. Torian Small, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
So how do Americans feel about President Trump's cabinet picks? A new Associated Press poll struggled to find approval for some. That includes, for Pete Hegseth, only about 2 in 10 said they approve of the choice of the former Fox News commentator. For former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, she didn't fare much better. The pick for intelligence chief also got about 2 in 10 approval, while 3 out of 10 said they disapproved. The others were either neutral or did not know enough to say. Meanwhile, attorneys for the man accused of trying to assassinate President-elect Trump back in September asked the judge to delay his trial until next December. The suspect is former Hawaii resident Ryan Ruth. His lawyers say they need more time to review the evidence against him. If convicted, he would face life in prison. He's being held without bail at a federal jail in Miami. On Kauai, a multi-agency search continues for an Alaska visitor who went missing in North Shore waters. Officials say the 32-year-old woman was swimming at Hanakapiai Beach yesterday when she went missing at around 3 p.m. Police, fire, ocean safety, the U.S. Coast Guard, and the State Land Department are all responding. Anyone with information about the woman is asked to call HPD. A new lawsuit takes aim at a state-owned senior housing complex in Kaka'ako after one of the tenants was allegedly left to die on the floor of her apartment. 87-year-old Joanne Miller's decomposing body was found on October 31, 2022. Her daughter is now suing the Honua Kaha complex, the state, and the Hawaii Community Development Authority, alleging wrongful death. According to the police report, the on-duty building manager said he checked Miller's room 4 days prior and saw her nude on the floor of the apartment. He said he then closed the door without making contact because he had no medical training and did not want to disturb Miller.
He didn't call for help. It was a dreadful feeling that she had laid there for days, thirsty and hungry and hurting.
Call anyone, call the 911, call another on-duty manager, right? Call the daughter, anyone. Don't just close the door and pretend you saw nothing.
Miller died of a heart condition, but the family insists she was alive when the apartment manager left her on the floor. HCDA declined to comment on this story. A heated debate over the proposed tax on Oahu's 35,000 vacant homes. The city council was scheduled to vote on the measure last night. Our Ben Gutierrez shows us what happened instead.
The city council's decision to defer the controversial measure came only after hours of testimony on both sides of the issue. There were those for.
There's an obvious housing crisis affecting Hawaii, and we need to do what we can to help alleviate that.
And against.
I believe this bill is not sharing the aloha with our small percentage of second home owners who are only here a few times a year. They pay big tax.
The bill would increase the tax on empty homes by 3%, an extra $33,000 a year for a home at Oahu's current median home value. Advocates say it's aimed at places like Kaka'ako, where many condos have no one living inside.
So I'm not afraid to say to those who own these empty units in Kakako, dark windows, that you need to be part of solving this problem that we face here in Hawaii.
But opponents say the bill would hurt people who have legitimate reasons for leaving homes and units empty, such as kupuna who move into long-term care but plan to return home to spend their final days.
Auntie will be taxed $43,000 because of her hope to come home. Well-intended, but the unintended consequences are too big to bear.
At the end of the day, whether it be one family, one local family, or one kupuna who is adversely impacted by this bill, I cannot support it.
I feel like this bill is headed into the storm, into the court system. It affects local families. It's not just for the rich. Many local people keep their homes for personal reasons and for their family members. This bill is an egregious government overreach.
The administration asked the council to hold off on a decision until a study is completed, and that's exactly what Council Chair Tommy Waters did.
The bill will stay alive. We'll be debating this another day. We'll be taking testimony another day.
As your co-introducer and the budget chair, I am extremely disappointed that we are going to postpone this. I have mentioned about the delaying tactics that the city administration has done prior in the past 12 years that I've been here.
The city's budget director says a feasibility study will be completed by January, but an implementation study, if it goes ahead, would be completed in June. At the Honolulu City Council, Ben Gutierrez, Hawaii News Now.
Thank you, Ben. Meanwhile, the Dole Foods Company says it wants to work with the city to find more suitable options for Oahu's next landfill. It comes after the city announced a plan to build the landfill on 150 acres of agricultural land that Dole owns near Wahiawa. The company said the proposed site was selected without its involvement or prior consultation, and that the planned location would directly impact its pineapple farming operations.
Everything is cordial right now. We're going to get into the details, but I think there seems to be an understanding. Dole has sold off some of its acreage to other entities and whatever, so it's, but we'll see how it goes.
The city says an environmental impact statement will include public input sessions and presentations at neighborhood boards. Ahead on This Is Now, a wildfire in Malibu rages on, forcing thousands to evacuate, including celebrities. An update on the firefight. sad news to share today. Robert Fernandez, one of the Pearl Harbor attack's last remaining survivors, has died. Fernandez was just 17 when he enlisted in the Navy in August 1941. 4 months later, he was working as a cook aboard the USS Curtis, docked at Pearl Harbor the morning of the attack. He had planned on attending the annual commemoration of the attack last weekend, but a sudden downturn in his health forced him to cancel. His death leaves barely more than a dozen Pearl Harbor veterans still living. Fernandez was 100 years old. Today in Southern California, the weather is cooperating, allowing firefighters to make progress containing that destructive wildfire in Malibu. At one point, thousands were forced to flee, including beloved celebrity Dick Van Dyke, who said he had a very close call. Dana Griffin has the latest from Malibu.
The Franklin fire may still pose threats, but the good news is Santa Ana winds have calmed down. They've been replaced by a nice onshore breeze. It's cool and it's bringing some much needed humidity to the area. So far, the fire has burned more than 4,000 acres. It is now 7% contained, and that is a really good number when it comes to trying to stamp out those flames, because there aren't really any active ones happening right now. You have some fire crews that are trying to sweep up those hot spots, and they want to make sure that these fires don't reignite. So that is the focus right now. You've got some 1,500 firefighters working around the clock. They are staged here along the beach, taking turns going in and out to make sure they keep this fire under control. You've had thousands who have been forced to evacuate, including celebrities like Dick Van Dyke. He invited us inside his home, and he got to tell us about his harrowing evacuation, and he's crediting his neighbors for saving his life.
I was trying to crawl to the car. I had exhausted myself. I couldn't get up. And three neighbors came and carried me out and came back and put out a little fire in the guest house and saved me.
Dick Van Dyke is also crediting firefighters for saving his home. We were inside, and I'm telling you, it's like a living museum. He's got so much memorabilia from the 7 decades of his career in show business. He was just truly grateful. And when it comes back to the fire, officials say that they are trying to determine the cause of the fire, but it will take a number of days before they have it fully put out. Back to you.
Here's a live look outside at Wailea on Maui. Again, we have a first alert weather day up today. Guy has your full forecast coming up.
Aloha on this Thursday. It is a first alert weather day because of those gusty winds, the low humidity levels, the heightened brush fire threat. So there's a red flag warning on for all leeward areas through this evening. As the winds back down, this red flag warning will likely be canceled. This wind alert will be posted for the same time period, mainly for the east end of the state. These shaded areas could get gusts upwards of 50 miles an hour, so there's a chance for some spotty power outages as well. Now, we're lucky. We got a few windward and Mauka showers moving through, mainly for Kauai and Oahu this morning. Drier for the east end of the state, but the east end of the state likely to pick up a few more showers by tonight through tomorrow. There are those winds already picking up speed. It's going to be a very windy day. We're talking statewide, with Kona being the exception. So just a few showers this morning, lots of sunshine after that. High temperatures running to about 84 degrees. So all in all, it is going to be a beautiful day. But keep in mind, there's that underlying brush fire threat with that red flag fire warning. So heads up on that. Now, the surf is still elevated for north and west shores, but the swell is on the way down. A big swell is due by the middle of next week. Could trigger a high surf warning, and still going to remain elevated and choppy on the east side because of the strong trade wind swell. So again, it's a first alert weather day today. Take precautions out there, especially if you're along leeward sides. It is going to be windy, 15 to 30 with stronger gusts for the east end of the state, Maui County and Hawaii Island likely to be the windiest. And these winds will back down by tonight and hold firm, though, through the weekend. Should be pretty nice conditions for the weekend. And there will be some windward and Mauka showers, but we're not expecting a lot of rain. Even drier conditions are due in on Monday. That's when light winds take over and humidity levels will be higher.
Thank you, Guy. Well, the holidays can be a little hectic, and you may be feeling more stressed. When we come back, Casey Lund takes us to Chinatown, where a new center hopes to bring healing. All right, welcome back. Does the stress of the holiday season have you feeling a little overwhelmed, or maybe there is another area of your life that's got you looking for answers? Casey Lund caught up with some people who can help.
Aloha. You are looking at the retail space here at La'akea Healing Center in Chinatown. We're just off Mauna Kea Street above Nimitz. This is a really beautiful, peaceful, comforting space. I'm here with Zanny and Darcy Pulava Morales with us, two longtime healers in the community. Many folks may know you, have worked with you in the past, but this is a new space. This is exciting. Tell me about your vision for La'akea Healing Center.
We are here offering alternative healing modalities to uplift and empower our community and to teach them techniques that we have learned to heal themselves.
Your husband, a Filipino shaman, yourself working in the healing community for a long time. I want to walk through for folks that maybe are new to this kind of work, new to this kind of therapy. You offer a physical, emotional, spiritual, mental healing. If they come to you, what is their experience going to be like as far as just a session? I know there's probably a lot of different avenues you could go.
We made it super seamless. It's 45 minutes to an hour. They come and see us, sit down. They close their eyes. We guide them through the process. The client is in total control. And when they open their eyes, voila.
What are some of the folks you're able to help? Who do you work with? I mean, do you see, I imagine a wide variety. Business people that have crazy high-stress jobs, or maybe somebody that's looking for their next chapter in life. Who are you helping?
We recently had a construction worker come through our doors, and he had a choking incident. He developed a phobia and a fear around choking, and he would, every time he ate, he would drive to the ER twice a week. And the doctors kept telling him, we've done every scan, nothing's wrong, it's all in your mind. So he came to see us, and within a 1-hour breakthrough session, we blew out his trauma and baggage around his phobia and fear of choking.
How do you both incorporate cultures from, Filipino culture to Native Hawaiian culture into the work that you do?
We use prayers, chants, symbols into the healing work that we do within an hour.
Very cool. And I just want a last question, because we're almost out of time, but this, I know you just opened in November. You have big dreams for this place. You're going to grow the retail space. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are looking forward to for the future of La'akea.
So we host a lot of manifestation classes every Saturday at 6 p.m. We are launching a lot of retreats, candle making workshops, and we're also offering speaking engagements for nonprofits and businesses. What I do is Ho'oponopono forgiveness meditation in 7 minutes as an icebreaker for nonprofits.
Well, that sounds awesome. I want to thank you both. Zanny, Darcy, Pulava Morales with us from La'akea Healing Center. Find them on social media. They have Instagram, they have their website, their phone number, all that information. If you'd like to book a session, come check them out. It's all at hawaiinewsnow.com. Reporting in Chinatown, I'm Casey Lund. We'll send things back to you for now.
Thank you so much, Case. And before we say goodbye, we want to remind you that Christmas is right around the corner, and we're excited to launch a big giveaway here at Hawaii News Now. It's the 12 Days of Christmas, and we're giving away a prize each day for our viewers. Enter today for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa. All you got to do is visit Hawaii News Now's Facebook page or head to our website to enter, and stay tuned to find out what our next prize is. Thank you for watching. This is Now. We're going to have more news coming up first at 4 right here on KHNL.